Good morning, guys. How we doing? We are back at it. New week, new market. Let's see what is going on. No tunes up yet. Okay. Rising coronavirus cases drag on market sentiment. All right, so this is yesterday, 2 days ago. Holy cow. California, Texas, Florida, Arizona. I mean, this is the beaches, right? Morning, Freezer Burn. How you doing, bud? All right, so the markets don't like this coronavirus spike. It's kind of a big deal. Yesterday, globally, we saw another 130,000 cases. 2 days ago, 156,000. That's a big deal. And it's a big spike. It is a big spike. In the States, it was largely driven out of Texas, California, and Florida. So I'm suspecting it has to do with beach culture. More bad news for Luckin Coffee. This is, yeah, I mean, this isn't a big deal. Like, uh, hmm. Yeah, which means that we start seeing them play a little less hardball with the U.S. in regards to trade deals and negotiations. That's why they started to buy up farm equipment as per the Phase One agreement. They realize that this is not optional. They need the U.S.'s support. So wow, there's a nosedive for the ages. Missing cash does not exist. Oops, that 1.9 billion, yeah, it's not there. What's up, man? Yeah, it was just getting too dang hot, but I can't take the whole thing off or I look like I'm five, so Also, my wife wanted me to give it a shot, so I gave it a shot. It's been a while since I rocked a goatee, actually. It's been like 8 years. Yeah, this is a big deal. I'm. I understand that for those who are ignorant and haven't educated themselves, that this statue is offensive. I get that. That they interpret it to be a symbol of colonialism. I get that. I do. But the statue was originally created to show both the black slaves and the natives as strong. That's why these men are not portrayed as small, insignificant men. They're shown as being strong, powerful looking men alongside Roosevelt. It was supposed to signify the friendship and unity underneath Roosevelt between all of them. My weekend was fantastic. Waking up to a world gone crazy. They are going to tear. They're going to remove the statue of Roosevelt. Good morning. It's too much for me, man. This is too far. This is too far. Teddy Roosevelt was a huge advocate for black rights. I think he was one of the first presidents ever to invite a black representative to the White House. Agent timing. What's agent timing? Yeah, Booker T. Booker T. 1901. Theodore Roosevelt invited his advisor, the African American spokesman Booker T. Washington, to dine with him and his family and provoked an outpouring of condemnation from politicians and press. No other African American was invited to dinner for over 30 years. This was Theodore Roosevelt's advisor, guys. Does this look like does this look like a man who is oppressing? Like, come on. They're removing it because it represents colonialism. The issue is because Theodore Roosevelt's on a horse and the other two men are just standing there. Apparently, this is inherently racist. Here. Yeah, this lady here. Let's be clear. There would be no American Museum for Natural History if not for the Roosevelts. The very museum created to preserve our history is now erasing it. The memorial's architect called the three men a heroic group, and its sculptor wrote that the two men stood for Roosevelt's friendliness to all races. Let's tear that down. I mean, the people don't realize that this doesn't sound more racist. Oh, this is an easy one. The statue sending an explicit message. I wouldn't mind Teddy Roosevelt there alone. He helped make the place. Oh, sure. Let's just tear down the parts of the statue that are the strong African American and the Native Indian. Let's do that. Let's just tear those parts of the statue off and leave just the white dude on the horse. That's much better. Christopher Columbus beheaded. Another was pushed into a lake. I mean, y'all do what you want. Deleting history is never a good thing. Hey, I picked up another star. Look at that. What? I'm up to 3 stars, boys. Growing nicely. See this red bar here? That's me. See these other ones? That's uh tip ranks, and this little guy is the S&P. We aren't in shambles. The US may be in shambles, but I'm not a we. Your country likes to rewrite history. Well, I mean, to each their own, I suppose. Ah, yes. Today is DMPI day. Down a little bit pre-market here. Gotta be honest. Hoping to see that go the other way. All right, enough of this social outrage. I'm gonna get back to. Let's check these tickers. These are all outdated. Hmm. Nothing yet from SLRX. I was expecting. Well, let's check. Hilarious. 8K. Annual meeting of stockholders. Okay, so this is good news from SLRX. Um, they had their annual meeting, and all they did was vote directors, auditors, equity, and employee plans. There's no plans to reverse split or introduce shares, so that's good from SLRX. They recently presented information at the Food and Drug yada yada, so the company's pending interaction with the FDA is also reflected in its stock price growth. It's a real honor just to be invited to participate in that program. Clinical trials for the cancer targeting compound continue. Clinical sites, patients were enrolling in their sites have failed standard of care and desperately need potential new therapies. All of their tests have remained open. That's huge. Yeah, hydroxychloroquine was a bust. At the company's annual meeting June 19th, Solarius shareholders voted to re-elect Arthur and Bruce McCready. It's not as much a bust as it's not practical for the masses. With hydroxychloroquine, there's a high risk of heart palpitations and going into cardiac arrest. So you really have to monitor it and make sure that your patients are constantly under supervision. And while that may be possible for the president, it's not possible for everybody. Okay, so with SLRX, it looks like they're building up their funds. We are seeing an increase in interest. The FDA is in line and helping them move through. They haven't stopped their clinical trials. Um, all good news, really. Nothing explosive as far as any kind of data goes, though. So that's unfortunate, but there could have been. We'll have to watch and wait for a little bit here on them. NFA is picking up all kinds of buy analysts, which is great to see. So yeah, there is positive data around hydroxychloroquine. It's the potential fallout of it, where if you release that to an entire system and people aren't able to be under constant medical supervision, there's a good chance it's going to go badly. So Nikola is diluting their shares by about 13% with this new offering. They incurred a net loss of 88 million for the year and have incurred net losses of approximately 188 million from our inception through December 31st. Okay, so with Nikola, guys, we believe that we will continue to incur operating net losses each quarter until at least the time we begin significant deliveries of our trucks, which is not expected to begin until 2021. Zero revenue, and that's on the tray. They're hoping that the tray sells well. The tray is an electric truck. It's not even a Class 8. It's a smaller vehicle. And then you got to wait till 2023 for the other one. Here's the big one. Our potential profitability is dependent upon the successful development and successful commercial introduction and acceptance of our trucks and our hydrogen station platform, which may not occur. We may be unable to adequately control the costs associated with our operations. We will require significant capital to develop and grow our business, including developing and manufacturing our trucks, building our manufacturing plant, and building our brand. We expect to incur significant expenses which will impact our profitability, including research and development expenses, raw material procurement costs, lease sales, and distribution expenses as we build our brand and market our trucks and bundled leasing model, and general and administrative expenses as we scale our operations. In addition, we may incur significant costs in connection with our services. Yikes. This is everything that you don't want to hear. We're diluting our shares. We don't have a product for years to come. We've been burning money. You're going to continue to burn money. In fact, we're going to burn money faster than we thought. And we may not ever end up actually making any money on the basis that we require an entire infrastructure to be built. So, guys, what we're talking about again with Nicola is look up hydrogen fueling stations North America. So this is the market they want to break into, okay? Okay. Who knows anything about the trucking lines? What do the trucking lines look like here, huh? Right. All that we have, trucking lines do this. Here's your major hub, your agriculture, your beef, your produce, your everything. Here is where it's at. Chicago is a major hub still for your commodities. So here's the middle of the U.S. This is where trucks need to start from. There is not one station here. Okay, so that problem aside, so we can't get things out from here to the cusp of all of these countries, right? Same thing's true for Canada. This is where, like, this is our bread basket, this is our beef basket. The only place that you can fuel up is Montreal or Vancouver. There's no way you can drive a truck this far. There's no way. Not possible. This is insane. Doesn't matter how efficient it is of fuel. So, class 8 hydrogen truck mileage. $300 miles. 300 miles, okay? So let's say that we have to pull a haul from California to, let's just say, Texas. 1,400 miles. Okay, so it's like four Phillips, maybe five Phillips along the way. So let's take a look at this. Five Phillips along the way. Now, you can definitely fill up in California, not a problem. But the problem is, okay, well, let's pretend that it could go 1,400 miles because that's what it would have to do to get from California to Texas. So like, even if it does the full 1,400 miles, once it gets there, it's got no place to fill up and come back. This is insanity. This is now, guys. I'm not talking about Europe. Europe is not the same thing. Okay. Um, oh, that's because this is the U.S. site. Europe is a different beast. Europe has all kinds of these hydrogen plants all over the place. Um, okay, so here's Europe. An argument could be made in Europe for hydrogen fueling. Korea and Japan, an argument could be made for hydrogen. In the US, it could not be made. It's the expanse is way too wide. Way too wide. It's a shame, but it is what it is. All right, guys, I gotta grab some water. It is smoking hot in my office this morning. So I'm gonna do that. I'll be back in 60 seconds. Lovey? Answer. 5 o'clock. Okay. All right, let's get back to it here. Renovion. No thanks. 8 million. Renovion. New drug. Only have one drug. Not interested. Not publicly traded. Sima Bay Therapeutics. This data already dropped, so that's not going to help us with anything. How is Nicola doing today? Yeah, this is huge. If Apple cuts out Intel and AMD, that's huge. Yikes. Wirecard's dead. They seem to have misplaced 1.9 billion. Oh wait, they didn't misplace it. It just doesn't exist. This is interesting. So these fortune tellers in this market in Hong Kong are saying there's nobody to read their fortune. And this guy's response is surely they saw this coming. This lady's making British eggs. Interesting. Okay. Pumped for this, guys. I will be speaking at this conference, the South Africa Innovation Summit. I won't be going in person. I will be speaking remotely, but I will be speaking. I think there's only 25 speakers from around the world. I will be one of them. Um, Bloomberg Economics. Spam demand is up. Got to get your spam. So Germany essentially put the hammer down on the European Central Bank, saying, "Oh, what the heck are you doing with all of this stuff? 2 trillion euros in public sector debt. What are you doing? What exactly do you think you're doing here?" And the European Central Bank went, "Well, you're Germany. A single country can't take us to court. You can't take us to task." And Germany said, "Yes, we can. Watch us." And so now they're going back and forth. Sure, exit. If Germany exits the EU, it's over. So it looks like the new stimulus tool is the ECB trying to drop 1.35 trillion euros debt. It will sue. The right wing party is going to sue the parliament and the federal government to stop the bank's participation in these programs. Yeah, yeah. There are parties in Germany that are suing the government and the banks for trying to be a part of this massive $1 trillion debt buyout. Britain's not looking so dumb for getting out of the EU now, is it? These major funds are telling people that the Asian markets are more appealing than the Western markets. I wonder why. Could it be because most of these major funds are so tied up into the um, the Hang Seng because they've been there and they've been in Singapore and they've been in Hong Kong. They're so financially tied to it that they need the income to continue flowing into Hong Kong. Your bias is showing, Bearing. It's pathetic. Apparently, Trump and problem. Oh, he needed two hands to hold his glass of water? Is that what this is all about? Man, they really are anything they can get. Yeah, but I mean, this whole argument is a moot point. Trump's really old. I don't know that he should go back into office. Really? Hmm. Just a moment. Let me see. Biden age. Biden's 77. Trump is 74. Hmm. 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 Bernie was 78. There's not a Democrat out there that can, with a straight face, go, he's too old to be president. Really? Do educate me. Show me the wonders of youth in Joe Biden, shall we? Warren's 71. She's no spring chicken. Bloomberg's 78. Like, Ivanka gets my vote. Pelosi's 80. Yeah. I mean, technically Bush could run again, right? He's only 73. I hope the day never comes where we see this man run for president, but yep. But they used to do this all the time with Bush. But there were medical problems. Ugh. Romney again? That was an epic disaster the first time. I don't know that we need him again. Yeah, I mean, Trump at election? Like that's him at inauguration, okay? And here's him from last week. I mean, they go out of their way to make sure they get the worst photo possible, but he he's not looking that different. This one here? What photo's that? Trump enters the 2020 elections. So that's this year. I mean, you guys tell me which one's older. That's a fun game to play. Which one do we think is Trump at his oldest? So this one here, he's looking kind of gray here. That hair's been airbrushed, clearly. I mean, dude looks the same as he did when he first got into office, in my opinion. Anyway, to his to his illness being evident. I don't see it. Wow. Yeah, it's more of the same. I always love when we get news from Denmark about cutting their emissions. It's like, okay, you don't produce anything. You don't have any factories. You're not a global producer. Of course, you can set these obnoxious targets. It just means drive less. Shooting in North Carolina took place at a Juneteenth. Yeah, exactly, Panda. Um, looks like social distancing at the rally. That's for a Trump rally. I just got to say, for a Trump rally, man, that is social distancing. That is social distancing. There's this much empty space, that many empty seats at a Trump rally. That is social distancing for sure. Yikes. I wonder when the first debate is going to be between these two. Trump Biden debate. So there's three debates, one in September, one in October. No, one in September, two in October. This is hilarious. They're still doing this. Okay. Trump polls right now. Okay. National poll. They've got Biden up by 8 points. Okay. 8 points. Heading into the election, they had Clinton. Some of these had Clinton at 7 points, 6 points, 10 points, 12 points. ABC News Tracking, 12 points. LA Times, USA Today, Clinton 11, Clinton by 10. The most, Trump by 5. There's one here that's got Trump by 5. Trump by 7. Apparently the USC campus. I wouldn't want Biden to debate either because Trump just has to lead with, you were in office for 8 years as a vice president. You have been a career politician. You have been in politics for over 40 years. I have been in politics for 4. What I have accomplished in 4 years, you could not get done in 8 years as the vice president and in 30 years as a representative of the House. Why the hell should people let you be the president? I think it's a question that demands an answer, and I don't know that he's got one. It's hard to come back with that. It is because all that Trump needs to do is stick to one talking point: economy, economy, economy. That's it. So here we are. That's not true, Panther. When legislation needs to get through, it goes through just fine. Obama used as many executive orders. He just, okay, DACA. Yep, we're just going to sign that through. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Just executive order, executive order, executive order. Here's the argument that people were giving us for these years. Okay, they went, well, only because Obama did so well did the spy do so well. This is because of Obama, this meteoric rise. If I believe that, even if I believe that 4 years into Trump's office, this peak is due to Obama, this right here has nothing to do with Obama. Absolutely nothing. This decline was COVID. This resurgence has zero to do with Obama. Spy over 300 versus where we were when he took office at 209. As far as unemployment numbers pre-COVID, I mean, so here's the thing, like, uh, there's so much about COVID here. Unemployment numbers, December 2019. Okay, unemployment. Oh, this is Canada. Unemployment numbers in USA, December 2019. 3.5. Okay, 3.5% unemployment. All right, unemployment numbers USA now. So the all-time high was April of 2020 with 14.7% unemployed. Okay, so we can all agree that was COVID. That's not directly tied to Trump in any way, shape, or form. The Democrats wanted the economy closed as much as the Republicans did. It was a bipartisan agreement that they needed to do that at the time. I don't know that that was the right decision by the government, but it was a decision that everybody made together. Everybody wanted that, right? The reality of this is, if you are looking at a number like this, where it's 14.7% in April, right? Okay, we got 14.7% of the population unemployed in April. Before this, it was 3.5%. Okay. Let's see Obama's last year in office. Obama's last year in office ended 2017. Okay, so let's do December 2016. Unemployment rate. And this is Canada again. USA. 4.1. Not 3.75, 4.1. So they're low, but this is a huge difference, okay? The difference between 4.1% of the workforce and 3.75% of the workforce is hundreds of thousands of jobs. My thought is this, guys. When you look at what we're coming out of and heading into this election, right? We're coming out of COVID. Businesses are unsure. Jobs are unsure. Unemployment's not there. People are worried about the economy. I think this whole election comes down to who can make sure the country's economy stays stable. We're not going to go into an election with talking points on environment, on what are some of the other ones that we had from the last election? Environment, career politicians, like infrastructure, wall building, like none of that crap matters. None of that crap matters. It's all going to come down to who can get people jobs, who can fix the economy, who can land these trade deals. I don't get to vote. I'm a Canadian. I don't get to vote in the election. But if I had to pick one of these two candidates to get me a job, The talking points were Clinton. We had Clinton or Clinton. So passed. Um, this actually did get passed. So at the time of this article in 2019, it's not passed, but this did get passed. Um, just not by ending this act. He did it through other means, but this did get passed. The idea of trying to go outside of country, he that was a huge part of the renegotiation of the USMCA from NAFTA. American Energy and Infrastructure. No, he didn't touch this, and he didn't need to. School Choice and Education Opportunity Act. Huh. Education is definitely not a priority for the Trump government. I absolutely agree. Um, so this happened, right? Obamacare is no longer mandated by the government. You are not required. I don't think anybody complained about the Trump checks that they just got. He tried to pass this. Supreme Court shot him down. He can still pass it. This one is going to be, in light of what's happening now, is going to be part of the response to um, the current BLM movement. Passed. Okay. Clean up corrupt in Washington Act. Maybe. Maybe. Again, I ultimately think it's going to come down to an election on finances. It's going to come down to who can recover the economy and make jobs happen. And people remember under Obama they were unemployed, under Trump they had a job. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. Yeah, there it is. This is exactly the message they're going to be putting out from now until the election. Pence will cost America jobs. Interesting. It's going to get heated. It's going to get heated. Yeah, Mitch McConnell and Trump have both come out and said that there is no way that they are going into another lockdown. It won't happen. The same is also true of Biden, though. That's the thing that shoots Biden in the legs. I think is he's had 8 years in office as a vice president. As part of the Obama administration, Trump has plenty of fuel of like, well, this is what you guys did wrong. Blah 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 blah. On top of that, you were a this is the one that just kills me because with Biden, the big issue with this is when was his first. Okay, in 1972, he became the youngest senator in American history. So 1972, he started as a senator. Okay, so from 72 to 2020, he's going to have been in office for almost 50 years in some capacity as either a senator or as a vice president. Set 50 years in office. In 50 years, that's what Trump has to throw shade at. 50 years of being in office and not doing what needs to be done. Versus what? Biden's going to throw shade on 4 years? I just think there's a lot more fuel for the fire here, right? And you know Trump's team is peeling through everything this guy has ever voted on. Everything that he's ever done. '93, Biden voted in favor of a broader federally mandated policy that deemed homosexuality incompatible with the Army, banning gay Americans from serving in the United States Armed Forces. That's Biden. Biden voted against same-sex marriage in '96. Yep, absolutely. That's exactly what it's going to be. It is going to be rubbish versus rubbish. But when you consider the piles, you only have 4 years of rubbish with Trump. You have 50 years dating back to the '70s of votes from Biden. This is going to go badly for Biden. There's no way this goes well. He's already had 2 brain aneurysms. That's going to come up. His medical condition. It's part of the Foreign Relations Committee as well as the Senate Judiciary Committee. So, how the current state of law and violent crime control. So he's trying to capture the Democrat vote. The Republicans are never going to vote for Biden. If you're from a Republican state, no way. His voting against same-sex marriage and homosexual military, all that does is weaken his stance with the left. It doesn't gain him anymore to the right. Um, Republican voters aren't going to move. What Dem is voting Trump? No, that's Biden. Biden was the one that had those. Um, what Dem is voting Trump? Well, there had to have been Dems that voted Trump last time, whether they were vocal about it or not. They had to. That's the only way that he won. It's the only way. He won traditionally. States won by Trump in 2016. Trump won the states Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Florida, Ohio, Iowa, all of which were won by Obama. We'll see. We'll see. It's really going to come down to, I think, the economy and track record. And the reality is, over the 4 years in office, Trump has just got to lean into finances. Look what I did for the economy in 4 years. Lowest unemployment rate in the history of the United States, highest stock market in the history of the United States. I came in as a businessman and said I was going to fix the economy and make us a global leader again. Renegotiated a Chinese trade deal, renegotiated NAFTA, and the USMCA is literally whatever the US wanted. That they got what they wanted. They really did. So much better for them than NAFTA. Canada got completely boned on that deal, but we took it because our prime minister's a tool. Yikes. Wirecard shares tumble as much as 50% in early trading after the company said the missing 2.1 billion from its balance sheet probably doesn't exist. Yikes. Okay. Barings Bank is recommending that you put your money into the Asian market. Guys, to be clear, Barings used to have major holdings in Hong Kong. As a London based bank, they were huge in Hong Kong. Now, Barings was the one that was hit by Nick Leeson's Rogue Trading. There's a movie about this with Ewan McGregor that I recommend you watch called Rogue Trader. But it's all about how he was the head of derivatives in Singapore and he gambled more than $1 billion in unhedged speculative trades, completely eliminating the bank's entire cash reserves. Rogue Trader. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. He brought down an entire bank on his trades. Shorting housing. They are going to try to tax digital companies, so good luck with that. I'm excited to see how that doesn't turn out for you. Um, South Africa's in trouble. cat chasing a fish for no particular reason. All right, let's see what we got going on. It's been about an hour. There should be some new stuff. Okay. Evoke Pharma, FSD Pharma. Okay, so they got their FDA approval. It goes up. It's already up, guys. This is what happens when you get approval on biostocks. They shoot up this ridiculous amount because people have been waiting forever for an approval, which what makes the pipeline so important to watch. Waiting for these phase 3 approvals. Yeah, so VBIV and DMPI are both presenting over the next couple days at this conference. So this is one here, phase 3. Um, it depends. It really depends on what it is. So there's certain ones that I'm interested in far sooner than that. So iPix, for example, is one that I was in phase 1. At least for COVID. It really depends. You can ride the catalyst, right? So if it's headed into phase 2 approval and you think it's going to get an approval, then yeah, you're good. The data results often are a big sway. Bio is a lot about the press, guys. People think it's really about the numbers. It's a lot about the press. You have to read the reports and the medical reports in order to understand um, whether or not the drug will actually perform. Well, that's faster. Okay, so PDUFA, guys, again, is just the right to advertise. These are the ones that you should be interested in. These phase 3 ones here. So here's one, CLSN, coming up on its phase 3. This is interesting. Phase 3 stopped due to compelling efficacy. This means that this works so well that they didn't need to continue doing the test. It was obvious that it worked. So for me, with the where I like to take long equity bio, what I'm looking at here is okay. I'm looking for something that I can get enough volume in. So these $4 ones, that's kind of the price range that I can actually play around with. Okay, so DBVT would be another one. ITRM would be another one. This is huge. It's actually so much bigger for these guys. So we're expect ITRM expecting phase 3 data Q2. So like this is one where It's 6 o'clock. We can break this down. Okay, so this one's new to me. ITRM. So let's go look up ITRM. ITRM. Let's go to tip ranks. ITRM. Okay, it's got a 333 consensus. Hold, buy, sell. The sell is from 5 months ago. These are from recently. Let's go to the website, check out their pipeline. Our Science pipeline. Urinary tract infections. Okay. Let's take a look at. They did a direct offering at the start of June, which is good. This is their phase 2 study that's failed. They beat on their earnings. Okay, here's the trial. No, no. The FDA is specifically for the US. This is why oftentimes you will see announcements of European approvals, you'll see FDA approvals, Canadian health approvals. Each country has their own legislation around how drugs are approved, steps you need to go through. The reality is the US market, being a for profit medical market, is often the one people watch, where the rest of the world typically has some level of socialized medicine. Not as much money to be made in socialized medicine. Sweet. What was I looking at? I was looking at my TRM. Iterm Therapeutics. So ACRX, for example, right? ACRX currently has approval for its two leading candidates are Desuvia and Zalviso. Zalviso in the US isn't currently approved for usage. It's still in phase 3. It doesn't have NDA approval because of the laws around opioids in the States, whereas in the EU, it's completely approved. I couldn't say how often this happens, but it does happen. The rules are very, very different depending on where you are applying for your approval. So, the Suvia is the big one. Completely approved, ready for use, ready for purchase. Same with Desuvio. Okay, which reminds me, ACRX. ACRX chairman just spent $130,000 buying 130% more shares. No, it's the same version of the drug. It's the same version of the drug that they're evaluating. It's just that the laws vary from the EU to the US as far as regulation goes. Interesting. So Adrian Adams sold 128,000 7 days ago and purchased 129,000 6 days ago, as well as these other directors. Hmm. Hmm. Why are these guys all buying? What do they know? Come on. Um, Navy spending budget US. National stockpile to yeah. Edgar. Hmm. What is a notice of effectiveness? A public declaration by the SEC that a public company's registration statement has been accepted for shares in public trade on the internet market. Okay, so let's see. When was this filed? On the 12th. Okay. So this was filed on the 12th. Hmm. This is just their annual meeting. What do I want here? I want stock twits. Let's edit this list. Okay. I want to add ITRM on here. I want to add Sint on here. I want to add Vogue Pharma. Okay. All right, guys. I am going to grab some more water because I am just sweating like a beast in here. So I will be right back. 60 seconds. Catch you in a bit. All right. What are you guys watching today? What are you guys looking at? I'm taking a look at all of them. Looking to buy the dip on Apple. Now, Apple got some good news for sure. I think they're actually going to have a pretty good day. Yeah, they're up pre-market. Yeah, I think Apple's going to have a good day with the announcement of the chips, and that they're going to go ahead with the um, their conference. We've got ABT is Abbott. Yeah. Yeah, they're a little bit expensive. So the thing with Abbott is, for me, I'd be looking more to take it to the downside than the upside. It's up on the current COVID, but yeah, I don't think the market reacted or was able to absorb the news about the chips. Yeah, Disney's a risky beast. I don't know that I go near it. I think it goes back down to 100 before it goes to 130. I've got a 12-month of 130 on it, but I think it declines first. TLRD. What is this? So it's soared to 150 and it's back down to $1. Yikes! I don't know about this one. They got dropped from the small cap. Mm, yeah, I I don't think TLRD has a hope of rebounding. No. Yeah, I wouldn't go near it. I like that's not me telling you not to go near. That's me saying I wouldn't go near. I think Luckin's due for a world of pain today as the banks look to liquidate huge chunks of stock. I think that Luckin's in some serious trouble. 10 cent. 10 cent into Neo. I still don't like Neo, but yeah, if you're in it and you had that 10 cent, you made a little bit more than 10 cent for sure. As long as you're aware that's what you're doing, so be it. Okay, first quarter highlight results from ACRX. I'm just reviewing these guys. It's been a while since I dove into them deep, so I'm just going to review these real quick. So Dasuvia has achieved Milestone C approval for the Department of Defense, a decision that approves Dasuvia for use in all U.S. Army sets, kits, and outfits, with an expectation of expanded use across all branches of the military. 30 million bucks. These reports, when they drop, about how Dasuvia is working in the hospitals are going to be big. ACRX. Yeah, Tyson with China. Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that. Investors. Hmm. Yeah, so this is Grammarly, this is TubeBuddy, this is LinkedIn, this is Adobe. So I can convert a page to a PDF immediately. So yeah, I do use that. This is Buffer, so that's one of the social media posting tools that I use. This one here is a giving assistant. So when you shop online, you can get cash back that goes towards a charity. I do use that. This is a Zoom link. I use that. This is a Agorapulse. This is another thing that I use for my digital marketing consultancy. This here is Soapbox. It's a video recorder. I can use it if I need to pull video clips off of the web. AdBlock Plus. RSS feeder. I use that for my due diligence to stream feeds of news around specific stocks directly to me. This is Instagram for desktop. And then this is a tool that I use. Rocket Reach is a tool that I use for If you can't find the email for somebody and you want to directly reach out to them instead of through social, you can use this tool. And then this guy here is on paywall. There are certain sites, academic sites and science sites, that you can use that extension, and it will allow you to see the content without being a paying subscriber. So yeah, I do use all of those extensions. This one I probably use the least out of them all, the Soapbox, but the rest of them I use almost daily. What do I think about Spotify? I know they have the Rogan Kardashian pickup, and that. I mean, I think they're overvalued at 230. I think they're at 200. I think they're 200 stock until I see them do something phenomenal. Yeah, I don't know that a family plan is really going to do anything for them because people just share logins. I want their annual meeting notes. Um, Meeting notes. Fully charged. Says that the replay will be here for 90 days. The opioid shortage is just getting so real. It's just becoming such a big deal. Because everybody on the ventilator is using them. And so, orders for fentanyl have tripled, but the reality is there's just not enough stock supply for it. So things in pill format sell better. This is good for ACRX because they're not an injectable; they are a pill. They're currently using ketamine. Ketamine can cause psychosis. Ketamine can cause you to go crazy. It's a paralytic. It instead of it being a painkiller, it just makes you catatonic. It makes you so you can't move. That doesn't do anything for the pain, or very little for the pain anyway. I'm not. So the issue that ACRX is covering is fentanyl is highly addictive, um, and has to be re-administered over and over and over again. Um, Yeah, it's one of the most potent opioids known. So the idea isn't to be the strongest; it's to be the most effective. And by most effective, what that means is you are trying to make sure that the pain is managed. But drugs like morphine, fentanyl, they cause nausea, they cause disorientation, they result in longer bedtimes, longer recovery times, which cost hospitals tons and tons of money. Dysuvia has the same level of pain threshold management, but you don't get nauseous and you don't get uh, disoriented in the same way that you do with fentanyl and morphine. So they're actually able to discharge patients much faster using Dysuvia, which is what makes it so appealing. The other thing with Dysuvia is it cannot be prescribed. You cannot take it home. It can't be sold on the streets. No, this is why the vaccine is such an appealing medical. Yeah, this is why the vaccine is so profitable. This is why companies get all psyched up about a potential vaccine, because vaccines have to be re-administered. Yeah, fentanyl's brutal. Fentanyl is absolutely brutal for that. Okay, drop a little bug in the ear on that one. He's the press secretary for the senator that's approaching this opioid problem. So at least make him aware that Suvi is there, right? Sometimes they just don't know. Sometimes they just don't know. It is what it is, right? Like she is pushing for this national stockpile to get itself in order and for them to spend money. It's best that they know what the options are. They had already mentioned earlier in the year that the national stockpile was something that was going to happen later into the year, but the more people that are pushing for it, the better. Do we have any major gainers at the gate here? Nobody's doing anything crazy this morning. This is down from its ridiculous pump on Friday. So this is a paper account I've been playing around with. I forgot to close these positions at the end of Friday, so we'll see what happens. But shake and bake, shake and bake. Yeah, we always get news. I don't think there's going to be a pump necessarily. Fed dashboard. Yeah, we usually see them around 8:30 in the morning. Um, Friday there was nothing, but I expect we see something today. For those of you that don't know, this is the SOMA. This is what the Federal Reserve currently holds. It's about $6 trillion in assets that it holds right now, which is nutty, absolutely nutty. Ooh, and we go right back at it. So there's been a bidding war between ACRX and Malinta. How much did they hold before COVID? 3 trillion, I think. Somewhere around 3 or 4 trillion. So here's Fred, and here's 2020. Bubble. It's hard to say bubble. It really is. It's hard to say bubble right now. Who knows? Maybe. My gains do look like that. Let's go here. Let's go here. So here is my portfolio, guys. My long equity portfolio. This started as 3 grand at the start of the year. We are up to total account value of $26,000. So far this year has been extremely kind to me. Tetraphase goes up again on this bidding war. Mm-hmm. Hi, love you. Drive safe. Call me when you get there. Okay. Um, See, the nice part with this is all this is doing is driving up the stock price of Tetraphase, and ACRX's cancellation is paid out based on the value of the stock of Tetraphase. So what happens is every time that the stock goes up as a result of this, and the value of the stock goes up, ACRX is actually getting a better payout on it, which I'm thrilled about. Web overuse, thank you so much for the follow, dude. I much appreciate it. Did I major in economics? No, I didn't major in economics at all. I've been a digital marketing consultant for a decade. Before that, I was a high school dropout. I've taught myself everything I know about business through experience and actually working in the world. So for me, it's far less to do with about the formal education, more about understanding how business works and how people work. And that's very much what I trade off of. Okay, so this is definitely the guy. So we'll connect to him. And what was the name of the other guy? James Galloway. That's exactly it. Yeah, with AAL guys, these airlines, I think they're still due to hurt a little bit. Um, yeah, they're down 6%. I think that we see these guys come back down to 10. I do. I really do. And they are a great long-term hold. These are great prices to get these at if you're planning to hold them forever. But if you're looking to play swings, I don't think that this is it. I don't think that this is the play. Oh, come on. Shocker. Funders for this study are the two companies that are being evaluated. So notes are the ability to purchase, to offer money at a rate of interest. Um, yeah, it's selling long dated notes as well as common shares. Interesting. Merck gets another approval. I'm not sure if the Fed will buy it or the market will buy it, but somebody's going to grab it. Somebody's going to grab it for sure. All right, guys, I have to cut the stream short early today. My family is heading out of here. I want to go give my kids a hug goodbye. So I will catch you guys tomorrow morning, 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you missed the start of the show, I'm going to run a rerun right after this. I will catch you tomorrow.